So we left off on page 73, but I'm just going back a little bit. Okay. So let me see for a second. All right. So as a real estate agent, one of the things that is very important to us, right? We love helping people. How many people want to be a real estate agent because you like helping people? And you're a people person, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least if you're stealing from them in a friendly way, right?
Put a
smile on your face, even you're stealing from them, okay? But most of us are here because we want to help others, right? And then because of that, we want to be compensated. So if you're a real estate agent who puts their best foot forward to help their client and not think about themselves, right? Because if you're thinking about how much commission you're gonna make, right, with this deal, you'll never know if it comes to fruition. Guys, just because you're helping a buyer find a house and you're already putting offers in there, it does not mean that you're going to get paid, okay? An offer can come through and the seller can accept the offer. And guess what? If another offer comes on the table higher than your offer, you could be out of a contract. So I'm telling you, we need to go above and beyond for our clients without selling our soul. That's the only thing I have to say. So here in the sales associates compensation, brokers and sales associates agree on compensation. And it could be fixed salary or usually percentage split from the brokers receive commission on a particular transaction. And just before someone asked me, there is realties out there that pay a salary. If you need to work for someone that pays a salary, you can find that type of brokerage. But the thing is that as a salesperson, it's based on commission. You'll end up making more money if it's commission based. Okay. And then if you're stuck with a salary, you're probably stuck with a 9 to 5. How many people here, just a second. How many people here want to get out of the rat race? Oh, this way, right? Everybody here wants to get out of the rat race, right? And we also want flexibility, right? How many people have children? Right? So as mothers, most of us want to be able to pick up our kids from school, spend time with them, and also be able to make money. How many people here have a side hustle? Own another business? And then, no? You work? It's okay, it's work, it's fine. You can work from 9 to 5. So anyways, we just want to get out of that rat race, right? But in the meantime, we also have to work in other things. So, but as a real estate agent, if you work as part of the commission, you're going to work much harder to get to the closing table. So we also have to understand that some firms, right, who wants to get 100% of their commission? Right? Everyone does, from what I see. But you know what it is? For a firm to thrive, they also have to make money to provide for their agents. So at New Direction Realty, we have a split also for the broker. Why? Because they provide us the technology and the training that we need, which is very important. Right now, if you start out as a real estate agent without really not knowing what you're facing out there, you don't know how to talk to clients yet, right? You don't know what to do. Would you rather have some training and split of some of your 100% commission with your broker to learn, right? Because if you're getting 100% commission, probably you won't get training. Guess what? Your sales will be low. So if your sales are low, your income is low. So I always say this to my morning class, you always have to invest in yourself. The best way to invest in yourself is always continuing education, always reading books, always learning, so that you can be the professional in whatever niche you pick or whatever field you do or whatever section of New Jersey you specialize in, you become the go-to for your clients, what they're looking for. Who is thinking of doing commercial real estate? Okay, so a couple of people, look at this. It says commercial. This is the New Jersey Realtors Magazine. Are you a realtor right now? Are you a realtor? No, most of you are not. Why? Because you have to be part of the National Association of Realtors. But right here, there's a big gap between commercial and real estate, and they're trying to close that. So in the next few years, the commercial space is blowing up. So you might be able to work in commercial real estate. I just wanted to show you that, okay? So training, extremely important, right? Training is important, especially when you begin. So be mindful of that, that when you go interview with different firms, okay, you might see that it's not the split that you wanted. It's not going to be 100%, okay? So I'm going to keep going here further because look, it says here, some firms have adopted 100% commission plan in which each sales associate pays a monthly service fee to the broker to cover office space, telephone, supervision, and other costs in exchange for keeping 100% of the broker's compensation. So think about it. If you have 100% commission and you really don't know much about sales, then you're making very little money. And then now, because your broker says that he's going to give you 100% commission, you might be dishing out $300 a month or $150 or $200 for your workspace, okay? For using the computer, for printing, okay? And most of the time, a lot of agents don't even come to the office because they can work from home. So now you're paying all these high fees. You got to be mindful about that, okay? It says other companies have graduated commission splits based on sale goals. So there will be other realty companies that won't hire you unless you make a certain quota every quarter, okay? Because their brand, they want to keep their brand at a certain level. And then now we have a broker may agree to split broker's commission 50-50 or up to 25,000, then 60-40 from 25,000 to 30,000 and so on. Some commissions could be flat 70-30 or even 90-10. So what I want to say this is whenever you go interview, how many people are starting to interview brokers? If you can raise your hand. No one yet, only one person. It's okay. You don't have to do it. You're still concentrated on this. But I do advise you to go to different brokerages so you can get an idea. I personally like if a brokerage gives me training because that way I can learn from my peers, I can learn from my teammates, and I can learn from the person who is training me, which should have a lot more experience. As previously mentioned, only the employing broker can pay a sales associate compensation. So I think I heard Bruno say, I say it a little different. I always say broker of record, okay? There's broker and broker salesperson. A broker salesperson is a person who has gotten their broker's license, but they do not brokerage. So what does that mean? They only do sales. A broker of record is the broker who's responsible for what? What is the broker of record responsible? If you could put it in the chat for me real quick. Let's see if you guys are learning something with Bruno.
Like the one that is. Yeah, he pays us, and we can't do like a transaction without, I guess, their knowledge.
Oh, okay, and what else?
They're held responsible for our actions.
So I see for the brokerage, supervise, managing, oversees the office. So he typically sees your listings, right? Right, guys? He takes care of your listings. Let me see how many people say yes. Broker is responsible for any fault by the agent. Okay, does he take care of your listings? Let me know. Put it in the chat for me. Go ahead, keep going. Because there's like 30 people. My class is only 15. Okay. Okay, good. So that one is wrong. Who owns the listings?
You do the agent.
Nope.
No.
Nope. The broker of record is responsible for every listing. Put this down in your notes. You are the sub-agent of the broker. So you cannot say my listing. It's the brokerage listings. That's why when you see on Zillow, you'll see who the broker is because it will be under the broker's name. Okay. And you might see a question on the state exam because guess what? I don't know, we haven't gotten to that part yet, but you have fiduciary responsibilities with your broker. So that means that he's the one responsible, but he cannot go to every appointment. He cannot talk to everyone. So you are the sub-agent of the broker, helping the broker sell those properties. And your teammates in the brokerage are also salespersons under the broker to sell those listings. Okay. So I guess Bruno didn't teach you that, All right, so we're gonna look at the splits, okay? We see here typically, right? You can say typical house sales price 600,000, commission 6%. Is it a fixed commission, guys?
Wait, where is the, yeah,
On page 37.
we don't have that.
He just put it. He just added it because he wanted to show it to everyone. So you guys are not going to see this graphic because Bruno just added it. Because I asked them, you know, it's easier to show them the commission splits. Okay. So let me ask you, is the commission a fixed commission? I see yes, no. Put it in the chat for me. No. Anybody else? Yes, no, okay. We're gonna talk about that a little later on, okay? So if a $600,000 home, I don't know if you might find it or not. A $600,000 home at a 6% commission for both sides paid for the seller, by the seller, is $36,000. Is that what you're gonna make? No, right? Because now we have to split both sides.
Unless you double ended, right?
What do you mean double ended?
Like you're
Oh, you're the dual agent?
Yeah.
Okay. So I apologize for that. It just went off on me. It says that we have 3% on one side and then we have 3% on the other side. So out of the 36,000, each brokerage, and we'll put it here, right? Is gonna get 3%. So if we split that 50-50, it would be 18,000 for each brokerage, okay? And a typical split is 60-40. So if we have a typical split of 60-40 and the buyer's agent, and then we have the brokerage, right? To buyer's agent brokerage, the brokerage gets 7,200 and the agent at 60% gets 10,800. Is everyone with me so far? Is everyone with me so far? Yes? Okay. I need to see some nods and thumbs up. Okay, because I know it's late and my brain goes dead too at one point. So if we look at the other side also, this is a perfect split, right? So now we have on the listing agent, guess what? Maybe the listing agent makes more on his commission. So he's already making 70%. And then the brokerage, because he's a seasoned agent, he knows a lot, he has a lot of listings. So he's capped off at 70, but the listing agent brokerage only makes 30%. So out of that 18,000, the seasoned listing agent, which has been there for years, makes 12,600. And then at 30% of 18,000, the brokerages makes 5,800. Okay. So far, so good. Yeah, everybody understands? Remember, when you see a listing, okay, I'm gonna go, let's see if I can get into my GSMLS. All right, sorry about that, that's not it. I'm gonna show you guys something. Okay, all right. Because the other day I couldn't get in. All right. Okay, we're gonna members only. This is the typical GSMLS that most agents start with. So we have see if I can get in. I don't know. Hold on. I always wear this. Every time I go anywhere, I wear my badge so that everybody knows that I'm a real estate agent. Let me try again. I wanted to show you guys the MLS. Hold on. I'll be quick. I'll try one more time. Yes, we got in. All right. I can't save it here, but I'm gonna show you. So let's, somebody give me a property? Somebody give me somewhere in Newark or something like that. Thank you, whoever's clapping. I know I was frustrated. Can somebody give me an address? What's your address?
Mine's not in Newark, but it's 11 Cedar Street. Like,
Oh, okay, I got one. I'm sorry.
so it's okay.
I just needed somebody. Okay, 196 Malvern Street. Oh, this is capped. Okay, this hopefully, yes, we can see it. Okay, guys, I want to show you something. All right, this, I don't know if someone lives here or what it is, but we'll use this so you guys can understand. So this is a GSMLS. We use this information here as real estate agents to be able to find information about the house. Okay, so at the bottom, if I'm looking as an agent, right, it says that the listing agent is Howard Hand Rand Realty, and the agent is Anthony Laterio. Okay, so now if you see here, you see it says BB, that's buyer's agent. Okay, and if I sell this home, right, and you guys have not gotten to exclusive right to sell yet, that's right here. Okay, that's somewhere around here, right here. Okay, exclusive right to sell. You see that it says 2.5% minus 250. So you as an agent have to give the GSMLS $250 out of your split of your commission, and 2.5% is what you get for your brokerage. We saw the other one, it was 3%. Okay, now here, You see where it says SA? That's a sales agent. What does that mean? That the agent that's selling the house is not making any money. It could be a family member, okay? It could be whatever, they're not making any money. Now, it says transaction broker, right? Or they could put it as a transaction broker too, and they will make 2.5 minus 240. That's how you know how you'll make that amount in the commission. Now, let me ask you, if you see 1% out of, what is this house? 450. Let's do the math real quick. 450, 1, 2, 3, times 1%. It's 4,500. Okay. Yes, it is negotiable, but not when it's in the listing already. So you're only going to make 4,500. But if, let's say that commission was, that's how much your brokerage is also making. So you're getting a split from the 4,500. Okay. So I'm going to show it to you guys again. It's at the bottom. That's transactional broker, selling agent, and then buying broker. Okay, 2.5%. So let's do 2.5%. That's 11,250. Okay, that's how much the brokerage gets. And then if you multiply it by 60%, that's how much you would get. You would get 6,750.
Minus 250, right?
Minus 250, but you get much more. Guess what agents are doing? Agents are going out in the field and they're lowering their commissions because they want to get that listing so badly. Please do not do that, because if you start doing that, we're not going to really make money. Are you going to kill yourself showing a buyer a whole bunch of houses, you know, leaving your kids at home with your spouse, right? And all these things that you have to do Saturdays and Sundays to get 1% commission? It doesn't make sense. It's a lot of work that us real estate agents put into what we do. So you need to keep the commissions higher, okay? So I wanted to show you that. Another thing I wanted to show you, look, it shows you the taxes. It shows you if it's a 3-unit. Sometimes it shows you how much it makes, okay? What do you mean, Milton, sales agents get 0? No, we do make a commission, but it's a percentage of the sales price of the home. What I'm trying to say is, do not sell yourself short because it hurts the industry, okay? Another thing that I want to show you. Oh, so the sales agent, they put a 0, but then transactional agent, they put 2.5. So, okay, transactional agent, we haven't gotten to, and sales agent, right? You get more liability when you're a sales agent than a transaction broker, okay? So what happens is, if you have the opportunity to put it as a transaction broker, most transaction brokers use that, okay? But it doesn't mean you get away with all of it. We still have so much to cover that I can't talk only about that, okay? So now another thing here, listing history. We look at the history of the listing, okay? When it was, now it's active, it was under contract on September 12th. It's under contract on September 12th at 4:48 p.m. So someone put an offer in and now it's under contract. Another thing that I want to show you, tax report. Okay, this is the information of the owner. The only thing it doesn't have is their email, phone number. Okay, every person's home is public record. People don't understand this. They get scared. Everything lives in City Hall. If you get divorced, it's in City Hall. If you have children, it's in City Hall. It's public record. But they do, not for the homes, but for children and for divorce and marriage, you have to be the person who got married for them to give you that information. So here it says that at 196 Melbourne Street in Newark, the owner is Hesse Real LLC. Probably it's a real company. Okay, someone who bought the house, but they're an LLC. Maybe they're an investor. But the real owner's address is at 2500 McClellan Ave, and I don't know how to say that, Pennsauken, New Jersey. All right. And then they're up to date with their taxes on 2021. Tells you the district, the building class, the property class, taxes, and even the tax rate. We haven't done taxes yet, but it gives you that information so you can calculate the amount, but it's already there for you for the taxes. We talked about lot and block, land descriptions. Are lots and blocks in a deed? Are land descriptions in a deed? Like, I don't see any nods or no's. Yes, no, put it on the chat. So I'm going to show you a deed so you guys can understand what's in the deed. So some will say yes, some say no. We need land descriptions. If you go back to the other chapters, you will see a description of everything that you need from the grantor. Does the grantee sign the deed?
No.
No, the grantee does not sign the deed, only the grantor. Okay, so now let me just close this here. Let me go to tax data. So now you see how much information you get from the GSMLS? As real estate agents, we have to be really good investigators, okay? So here it gives us the lot and block, the tax map. It gives us the right location, okay? The sales date, and the owner's been there 2 years and they're selling the home. Listing history, how many bedrooms, the price, the listing agent, the office. It gives you descriptions of the home. Let me see if I can find the deed. Deed information. Deed information. Do we get, when we have title, do we have a document? No, right? We just said that it's been transferred, that it's been recorded. Maybe you can have a fees of what a title company charges you, but there's no real document. It's been recorded. And guess what? When you guys go to City Hall, you see an abstract, a summary of that title. Okay, who's the real owner? So now we have location, municipality, block and lot. We have the lot size, okay? We have the square footage of the lot, the land use, it's only used for residential, and the size, 25 by 100. We have property stats. We also have the deed information. The deed information when the house was bought. The deed price, we don't have that, okay? The assessor code, the lender, we don't have that. Let me see if I can go into deed. Let me see. Okay. And it also, see, you can find out information about that property. Isn't it in a flood zone? What flood zone is it? So it says right here that it's not in a flood zone. And then it says the average, well, I guess a little bit of the demographics. And it also shows you the tax map, okay? You can look around here and see other properties near that, okay? And this is good for marketing, but I can't get into it right now. So here, guys, this is the deed image, okay? This is what's recorded in Essex County Register Document Summary Sheet. That's why we need the name of the owner, where they live, where it has been recorded, submission date, name of pages, realty transfer tax, we talked about that, total amount, municipal codes. And it tells you more information on the deed. This is what we were talking about, and this is what is on one of the pages in one of the chapters. It tells you this, because you might have a question on the state exam. Look, it talks about the grantee here, which is PCII Real LLC. Where are they located? And it goes on, and that's what a deed looks like. So I guess it must have been a foreclosure because there's a final act here. And I guess we can read it, but we don't have time. All right, so let me get out of here. So good so far. Was that helpful? Right? That was very helpful. I wish my teacher, who was very boring, wasn't Bruno, but we're not going to talk about them right now. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here. And I'm going to close this. Okay. So I'm going to leave that session open just in case, but I'll go back here. All right, I took a little bit more time. That was not included. And yes, that's because you need to know about flood zones. Let me tell you. All right. New Jersey didn't have a lot of areas of flood zone. There were certain areas of flood zone. Now, because of all the storms that we've recently had in the last few 10 to 15 years, there's districts now that are flood zone. So you might see taxes that are a little lower because when you see how much, where that level of flood zone is, what number it's in, you might see a high insurance for flood zone. All right. So are we good with the splits, with the commission? You guys are happy with that? Remember, guys, the training is more important sometimes starting out than 100% commission. All right. So we have the antitrust laws. Okay, the Federal Sherman Antitrust Act penalizes, and this will be on the state exam, so pay attention, illegal business practices. Each state's antitrust laws vary. These laws prohibit monopolies. Okay, that's why you see there's a lot of realties because there's always healthy competition. And conspiracies among competitors that interfere with the free negotiation of goods and services in a competitive market. We cannot price fix. Price fixing, group boycotts, customer and market allocation, and tie-in agreements are common antitrust violations. It's illegal to price fix. That's why I said, is 6% the standard commission? No, because you have to negotiate with your client. Is when competitors agree to set prices or other terms for products or services instead of letting competition in a good market set them. Price fixing in real estate occurs when competing brokers agree on specific brokers' compensation, fees, management rates, and this is illegal. I'm sorry, your name is again? Masha. Let's say I sit down with Masha, okay? And I said, you know what? I'm from ABC Brokerage. She's from New Direction Realty. And what happens? And I say, Masha, you know what? We can control here, Newark, okay? And we could put our own commission and everybody has to do what we say. It's illegal. Brokers can set their brokerage commissions and fees and may even discuss them with real estate professionals within the same firm, but not with anyone else from another firm. Another thing. So may I zoom in? I'm sorry if I can't zoom in too much because then I have to read, but anyway, I'll try this. No state association of realtors, multiple listing service, and other professional organizations have set fees or commission splits. Real estate professionals must avoid even the hint of price fixing, mentioning to prospect customers that there is going a commission rate or normal fee. Implies that rates are standardized. Brokers and salespersons must tell clients and make it clear that the stated rate is, I'm sorry, it's hard to keep going back and forth, is only what their brokerage charges. Okay. So, is it okay to price fix?
No.
I don't see enough no's. Yes, guys, right it is, right? No.
Same.
Are we staying alive? Staying alive. Okay, good. Everybody said no. All right. So let's continue here. Boycotting. A boycott happens when two or more businesses conspired against another business to reduce competition. Antitrust laws prohibits group boycotts. An example would be when real estate brokers refuse to show a competitor's listing. Customer market allocation. You might see a question on each of these. So make sure you understand what it is and pay attention. Customer market allocation. Real estate brokers agreed not to compete for each other's business by allocating customers or markets. So again, if I take Alexander and I say, you know what, you take Ironbound. You know what, I don't like those Portuguese people. You know what I mean? Alexander's Brazilian, so he knows what I mean. So I'll do North Newark, but we won't compete with, I'm sorry about that. We won't compete with each other. So that's what it is, right? We allocate market. So you keep your clients and your customers and I'll keep mine. Real estate brokers may agree to exclusive territories geographically. Markets like price range or housing type may also be divided. This reduces competition and it just reduces competition. So now we have tie-in agreements. Tie-in agreements are agreements to sell one product only if the buyer buys another. So it's like almost like clickbait, right? If you buy this, then I'll give you that. The first desired product sales is contingent on the second, less desirable purchase. In real estate, a broker may only agree to list a seller's home if the seller agrees to use the broker to buy a new home. That would be a tie-in agreement. Okay. Penalties. Antitrust laws have severe penalties. The Sherman Antitrust Act imposes $1 million fine and 10 years imprisonment for price fixing or allocation markets. Corporations face up to $100 million fine. In addition, antitrust violators can be sued 3 times their actual damages, and the injured party may also recover legal fees. So we cannot break the Sherman Antitrust Act, or we'll see a lot of fines. Professional organizations and ethics. Give me a second. Okay. Professional organizations and ethics. What I just mentioned to you before, this is the National Association of Realtors. Okay. What is good about the National Associations of Realtors? Please, if you need to be on camera, like I see like 4 people, one person just told me that they were just an old student just studying for the state exam, please have your camera on because you need to be in camera. Look, the commission, the real estate commission, I don't know if Bruno has told you guys this, but I had to sit down with the real estate commission. And they said people need to be on. Like before, it was hybrid. You could be off camera. We've always been on camera because I need you guys to focus, okay? But if you're off camera and then we get audited, because we will get audited every year, they will see who's paying attention and who's not, and what kind of school we are. Because We try our hardest for you guys to pass and give you all the resources that you need online. But if you don't put the effort, then it hurts us in the long run too, because we're giving you the opportunity to be here while we can just focus on the other students. So make sure you have your cameras on if you have to be on camera. I'm not the evening instructor, so I don't know who's here all the time studying, but I do need you guys to focus. So this is the New Jersey Realtors Association. And what's good about that is continuing education. If you become part of their trade organization, you get a lot of training. Like they send you courses that you can take. You do have to pay a minimal fee, but they're very good courses and they count towards your CE credits. Okay, so here we have the National Association of Realtors, NAR, is composed of state, regional, and local association, and is the largest real estate trade association. NAR also sponsors affiliate organizations that offer professional designations to brokers, salespersons, appraisers, and others. Appraisers and others. Realtors and Realtors Associates are NAR member titles. Okay. You might see on the state exam where it asks you about realtor or realtor associate. If you didn't pay attention, it's the same thing. NAR affiliate and designations. NAR has many affiliate institutes, societies, and councils available to members who wish to increase their knowledge of a specialized area of real estate practice and earn the accompanying designation. These include the following. So we have councils of real estate, Commercial Investment Real Estate Institute, Institute of Real Estate Management, and so on and so on and so on. And I guess you can see the website so you can go to it. Other professional associations are mentioned throughout the text. Professional ethics. When I got my instructor's license, which was pretty tough to get, I had to go through ethics again for brokers. So it puts more stress on me to stress on you, okay? To always be professional in what you do, not unethical. And you will be punished if you are unethical. You will pay fines and fees and even imprisonment. Professionalism goes beyond legal compliance. In real estate, state licensing laws determine what a license can and cannot do. Real estate professionals can be legal but unethical. You could be licensed, but you can be unethical. There's a website that shows us if you're unethical and you have your license, everyone will see it, okay? Because it dates back from 1990. All right, if somebody's smart enough that looks up your license, right? That looks up your license, they can see if you're unethical. And honestly, it's like 3 strikes, you're out with the real estate commission. All right, real estate professionals can be legal but unethical. Ethics involve moral principles, rules, and can conduct standards. These moral principles establish standard for integrity, competence in dealing with consumers, and a code of conduct with dealing with industry professionals. Let me tell you, not everybody has common sense. I hope everyone here does. And not everybody's competent, okay? So even if we're, as an instructor, I have to look at people's competency, integrity, because if I see something weird, and I don't know if Bruno has mentioned that, I have to state it, okay? It's given to us by the Real Estate Commission. And there's people out there, yes. I don't know how they got their license, from what school, but I don't want to talk about it anymore, but they're not, I don't know. They won't last very long. So it says realtors must follow NAR's code of ethics. This is NAR's. Local, state, and national professional standards committee administer NAR's code of ethics. The practical application of the articles of code are called standard of practice. NAR-EB, whose members are called realists, also has a code of ethics. Was formed in early days of civil rights movement as a response to conditions and abuses that led to fair housing laws. State real estate organizations also established their own codes of ethics for licensees. technology in real estate practice. So before we couldn't sign, all right, unless we had authorization to use like what we use now, like different third-party softwares that are approved by the real estate commission for our clients to sign them. Back in the day, if there was a change, there was so much paper trail everywhere because everybody had to re-sign everything. Now we also use something called IDX. And I believe some of the agents don't even know what that is, but I'm going to give it to you because I'm a tech person. Most real estate brokerages websites, okay, offer property and other search databases. Much of this information comes from trade association and MLSs. The National Association of Realtors has now adopted an Internet Data Exchange IDX policy, and I'll explain this in a little bit, okay, that allows all MLSs members to display MLS data while representing the property owners and brokers' right to market. So as you saw in the MLS, on my MLS, you see all this information, right? Before, let's say maybe 30, 40 years ago, what happened, there was no buyer's agent, okay? And brokerages had their in-house listings, which meant that the brokerage had to sell those houses and no one else. With time, it had evolved and something came up as a buyer's agent. And soon it was adapted because if the seller of the home, if the listing agent of the home was selling the home, talked to a buyer, found out information about the buyer and used it against them, so they had advantage with their seller. So there had to be someone to defend that buyer. Through time, everything became part of the internet. So we have this IDX policy, which also means with time, brokerages, to keep competition good, they helped each other sell these properties. That's why you're able, as a real estate agent, to sell a property that is from someone else. So that means that you can bring a buyer and they don't have to keep it in-house. You can buy it from different brokerages. The IDX policy is online. Now, we also have CRMs who use IDX, okay? And when you sign up to a brokerage, I'm gonna sit down because my knee hurts. When you sign down into a brokerage, you'll get a CRM. And these CRM have information about homes that you can share online. You can share on Facebook, you can share on Instagram, you can share in different places, right? Because we all want to sell these homes. So that IDX policy you sign with your brokerage also, you might not even know it because you're signing a whole bunch of paperwork. But it allows you, just in case of some older person, because I encountered this when I was trying to look a house in Summit. She was like, oh no, you can't take photos, of the house, or you can't put any videos because, you're not allowed to do that. I said, the lady needs to know what's going on. So IDX is that we can use that information from another listing that is not from our own brokerage and put it online, okay? Hopefully that helps. And that's part also of the MLS. Many real estate websites, especially those that link to other sources, this is what I was explaining, have disclaimers saying that the content is for informational purposes only and no warranties or representations are made. So if you see online, especially on Instagram, and you're looking at homes, there should be disclaimers on, any information about the property. If you're putting out a property online and it doesn't belong to you, you need to put the company who's listing that property. Digital communication, email and texting. Email and texting have improved real estate agents' client communication. So before, people couldn't do email and texting. It has to be approved by the real estate commission, just so you guys know. Emails are great for business marketing. Every message should include current contact information. State licensing regulations may specify what should be included in every client or customer communication, including email. The section on prohibited communication discusses laws against unwanted email. So you might see a question on the state exam on this, so please pay careful attention. In emailing clients or consumers, use a helpful subject line, avoid spelling errors, respond quickly, be specific and brief, and watch file attachment sizes. Never send an unsolicited email. The same recommendations apply to text messages, which are quickly replacing email as preferred client contact method. Be clear and concise and avoid too much acronyms. State laws may require real estate professionals to include their name, address, license number, and for sales associates to include the name of the employee and broker in all communication. So at the bottom of your emails, I don't know if you heard this before, if you worked in corporate America, email signatures. To have your phone, your number, your whatever. And if you're an agent, it might even have your license number there, okay? When you're texting, right? When you're texting, I usually send my business card. I take a picture of it and I'll send it to the agent. Hi, this is Jennifer Ramos. I'm sending the information to you. You know, this is my contact information if you need me. Sometimes they want to know that you're really an agent, that you're not someone that's trying to trick a realtor. And that's the best way of communication. Networking. Who likes to network? Got one person, two, three, right? How many people here are extroverts? Okay, one. I got a few guys. Even if you're an introvert, networking is awesome for you, whether it's online or in person. It gives you a lot of opportunities to meet people and make deals. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and LinkedIn are popular internet platforms. Facebook allows users to post information and receive and send messages from friends. A real estate professional can create a Facebook page, but should remember that public information requires restraint in comments and photos to avoid embarrassment or liability. And we also, when we are, I'm sorry, am I talking too fast? Okay, are we good? So if you put something on Instagram, okay, especially if it's a home and it's not coming from your CRM, remember I said IDX, put it there. You need to put the information of the house, the MLS, and the company. You don't have to put the listing agent. You just have to put the company, the brokerage that holds that listing. Twitter lets users post 140 character tweets that others can read. So in your CRM system, mine has all the social media platforms and even Greg's list, because I was able to code it into there. And what I do is every Wednesday, I send out new properties in certain areas and it populates it there. If you don't have that, you can also take the pictures down, get the description, get the information, and put it yourself on, these platforms. Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat display photos, videos, and messages. LinkedIn also allows users to post resumes, join groups with similar interests. Users can post announcements or messages to group members who can reply. Another thing with social media. I don't know, this is personal. Be careful what you post about yourself, right? You want to stay professional. If you want a family, you could always show your personality on social media, but more intimate things, have your own private account. That's what, that's the best thing. Web ads. State advertising laws vary. There's a lot of advertising laws, so pay attention. Before advertising and marketing online, check your state laws, because this is only the national portion. Internet advertising laws and regulations includes NARS, Internet Data Exchange Policy, in the following. Okay, so where is the pen? Hopefully I didn't lose it. All right, so we have the real estate professional must include their name, office address, and this is important. This is for your, this is using internet advertising. So it has to, and you can see it, a question on the state exam on this. So it has their name, the professional's name, office address, broker's affiliation in all electronic communications. It cannot be shady or clickbait. All right. Because what the commission said to me, because I also took a CE course on advertising, like if you have something shady and they complain against you, they'll give you one warning. But then after that, they'll tell you to take it down and they'll give you things that you have to pay for, like fees and things like that. Real estate agents must disclose their license status on every website that contains an ad. In ads, only a sales associate's name without the broker's name is prohibited. So now, have you ever seen Rob Sells New Jersey on every bus and billboard out there?
I just started driving here. He
So
works
you-
for Remax, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So he does have, he has a name because you can make some type of a group, right? You can make a group, but you have to be affiliated to a type of brokerage. These are franchises. So it says Rob's team, right? Have you seen different teams? But they're under the brokerage. So it says Remax Advantage, I think it is.
It says Remax First Advantage.
Yeah, First Advantage, they're located in Colonia, okay? So think about this. You cannot have your name like a team without your brokerage, okay? It's prohibited. So you guys understand that. Ads must be accurate, current, and not misleading, okay? No clickbait. Electronic contracting. Internet and technology have altered how real estate transactions are conducted. The contractual legal requirements are discussed later. Electronic contracting is becoming increasingly prevalent in the real estate industry because it integrates client, lender, title, and closing agent data quickly and effectively. Email and fax transmission save time and money. 2 federal acts govern electronic contracting. So we have 2 acts, the Uniform Electronic Transactions Act and the Electronic Signature and Global and National Commerce Act, e-sign. Hold on, let me just open up real quick. I don't even know who that is. All right, so only 3 states haven't adopted the UETA, Illinois, New York, and Washington. The law sets rules for entering an enforceable electronic contract. This is important because you will see a question on the state exam. Removes barriers in electronic commerce that prevent contract enforcement. UETA validates and procedurally effectuates electronic records. I'm sorry, today my brain, I don't know where it is. And signatures, but it does not require parties to use electronic means. UETA's 4 provisions are: a contract cannot be denied its legal effect because an electronic record was used. A record of signature cannot be denied its legal effect just because it is in an electronic format. If the state law requires a contract signature, an electronic signature is acceptable. An electronic record can satisfy a state's written record requirement. Okay, so this is important for you guys to know. Congress passed the e-sign in 2000, and it serves as the electronic transactions law in states without UETA, and some sections apply to states with UETA. E-signs makes contracts and records enforceable. Remember how we said how a contract, an oral contract is not enforceable? Do you guys remember that? But e-signs makes a contract enforceable. Prohibited communication. Business must comply with various provisions intended to protect consumers from unwanted communication. In 2003, federal do not call legislation. How many people had people calling them for every little thing, right?
I still have it.
We still kind of have it, right? And then you can tell them to put you on the do not list call. Was signed into law, and the Do Not Call Improvement Act of 2007 further strengthened consumer protections available to consumers. Real estate agents must follow the FTC's National Do Not Call Registry. So you might find 2 questions on the state exam on the e-sign and the Do Not Call Registry and the email, which is managed by the Federal Trade Commission. The registry contains phone numbers of consumers who want to limit the number of telemarketing calls they receive. The registry applies to any plan, program, or campaign to sell goods or services over interstate phone calls. The registry does not limit political, charitable collection, or say a service call. So the police might call you, but not to put you in prison. They just want donations, right? So you might get a call from them. Come on, people, smile a little bit. I know it's late. Every 31 days, telemarketers must search the do not call registry and remove registered consumer phone numbers from their call list. If the consumer is on the national do not call registry, real estate professionals may continue to contact consumers with whom they have a business relationship for 18 months after the last purchase, delivery, or payment. This is important because when you start doing call calling, has everyone heard what call calling is? Right? So this has to do also if somebody puts you on the do not list, but if you purchased with them or had a delivery or a payment, you can contact them 18 months after that. A real estate agent is permitted to contact a consumer for 3 months following inquiry or application. If a consumer requests that a business refrain from calling them, the business must comply immediately and permanently despite an existing business relationship. Okay, let me see where I am. Oh, I didn't know I went that far. Okay, so even though federal law applies to interstate calls, most states have an in-state do not call rules. It is important to keep up state and national do not call laws. Federal and state laws also govern email marketing and business communication. Most unsolicited fax and email advertisements are prohibited by the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, Junk Fax Prevention Act, and Federal Communications Commission rules. Business faxes are exempt if there's an existing business relationship, so they don't want you to spam them, so they have these acts. A canned spam act prohibits junk emails. This law requires commercial email solicitations to include a way to unsubscribe from further messages, and just like the phone calls, if a consumer requests to unsubscribe, all emails must cease immediately and permanently. The Children's Online Privacy Act added restrictions on the use of internet, including mobile apps and ad networks. HOPA requires a privacy policy and limits the personal information collected from children under 13, even in general audience websites or apps. I don't know if you guys seen this on YouTube. Kids were being targeted with ads. So now if there is some YouTube video that kids will be watching, they cannot target those children, okay?